Hey there, let me tell you a story. Now, some of you have heard about the history of Scotland and the great hero William Wallace, and maybe even Robert the Bruce, who together set Scotland free from English tyranny during the 1300s. They both have statues up on Edinburgh Castle, one of the mightiest castles in all of Europe. And if you go and look, you'll see the cultured stone and see William Wallace and Robert the Bruce standing next to each other as they fought against the English oppression. Next to William Wallace and Robert the Bruce's statues, there is another third statue of a little-known man called Sir James Douglas the Good. Now, Sir James Douglas, he wasn't a king. He wasn't a hero that many would know like William Wallace, or as you might know him, Braveheart. But his statue exists on Edinburgh Castle because he fought for the heart of a king. You see, when Robert the Bruce freed Scotland from England's tyranny, he then decided to go on a crusade. And during that crusade, Robert the Bruce died in battle, and he entrusted his heart, his remains, with Sir James Douglas, his best friend and brother in arms. Sir James Douglas considered this the highest honor, because as he was fighting his way across the war-torn Europe at the time, it was his duty to bring the heart of his king back to Scotland. Now, there comes at one point when Sir James Douglas was surrounded on all sides by enemies. And in order to spur his troops on in battle, he grabbed the locket which contained Robert the Bruce's ashes, and he threw the locket into enemy lines, rallying his men around and said, "Will you fight for the heart of a king?" And he rallied the troops, and they won the battle because they fought valiantly for their king. Now, each of us are tasked to fight for the Lord, fight for what God has called us to being, fight for holiness. But unlike Sir James Douglas, we don't fight for the heart of a king who is dead, but one who is very much alive and aids us in our battles. So if you are struggling and battling through things today, whether it be difficulties with your marriage, frustrations with your kids, any number of difficulties, temptations to go back to the old life, fight against that and know that you're not just fighting for the heart of a dead king, but you are fighting with the Lord, and He is your strength and your salvation. Psalm 44, verse 3 says, "They did not conquer the land with their swords. It was not their own strong arm that gave them victory. It was your right hand and strong arm and the blinding light from your face that helped them, for you loved them." You see, our hearts may desire to follow the Lord, but it is not our own strength that will get us the victory. The Lord, He is our victory, He is our strength, and He leads us. So my question for you today is, will you fight alongside the Lord today? And will you fight for the heart of a king?